Oh, okay, cool. All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Hello.
Happy Saturday to everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Also, please let us know if there's any audio issues, because
Yeah,
everything should
had
be
a
good here.
couple.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, this is the East Coast Ape
Oh.
Project. Today is another bonus quest episode. No interview today. We're pretty, we're pretty light on topics today too, as well. We are going to be mostly talking about New World because I think, very honestly, enough stuff has happened in the past 2 weeks to fill probably not only this episode but even more. But we're going to try and condense everything down into one single shorter episode for you today. Again, obviously, I am Dr. Red MD. I stream New World, Fallout 76, and a couple other, games or whatever else that we got. Whatever's kind of hot and interesting, I'll kind of check out on my channel. I'm joined, as always, with my co-hosts, Deacon Original and
Hey.
SexBacon. So, Deacon, if you want
Yo,
to
what's up, guys?
up a little, say hello.
Hello. What's happening, guys? Anyway, I was just finishing up. I was just finished. Where is my Discord at, bro? Like, why is it not? There it is. There we go. I'm like looking at myself when I talk. I don't know why. That way I know I'm not messing up and or any of that. Hold on.
Coffee break.
Yeah, SexBacon, how you
Coffee
doing?
break.
How you been doing this
Yeah.
past week?
I've been doing pretty good. Playing not a lot of New World, but still playing New World. Well, not as much as I've been. Like, I would literally get off of work and play from the time I got in the door, took a shower, sat down at the computer until like 1 o'clock in the morning, until the game from the game's release till about a week ago. And I took last weekend off to spend time with family. And well, when I hit level 50, so I was level 50, and I said, okay, it's a good time to take a break. And took last weekend off just of video games altogether and hop back on, and I'm up to the butt end of level 52 right now, and still like you can ask Deacon. I was wondering around last night, just like, Deacon, what do I do? Like,
Yeah.
like, but we ended up pushing on a rope for the rest of the night trying to beat Dynasty, and I'm only level 52 again. So I had to use a boatload of repair gear and all that stuff. But other than that, I mean, personal life, great. Just trying to get past level 52 in the world.
I feel yeah. Once you hit that like level, once you hit like level 50, it just seems like the XP opportunities just kind of evaporate, and
Yeah.
like I don't know what the solution to that is. I mean, I have been kind of lazy about doing like town board missions, and I usually am pretty good about doing my daily faction stuff, but I don't know. It's kind of it's a bit discouraging to me when you hit this like massive XP wall and you're just like,
Yeah.
Right.
all right, well,
Yeah.
let me hunker down and just like push through cuz I want to get to 60. It's like everyone else I know is basically at 60 or at least like close to 60, and here I am like putting along at like
See, no,
51, 52. So,
we needed to sit down with plain bread and chat, because that dude got to 60 and then started an account on our server and got to like 18. So
yeah.
plain bread, we need to speak after this.
Hmm.
But
So, anyway, why don't we
Okay.
just jump right in? Jump right into
Yeah.
some of the more interesting things that have happened in the past 2 weeks in New World. So let me go ahead and just change our thing
Just
here.
hatchet right into the topic.
Yeah, I'm a hatchet man with a hatchet plan. Um,
Not anymore.
well, listen, hatchets are still good. They're just not
I still run a
completely
hatchet.
You
busted.
know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, hatchets are great for, I mean, they were great for me for PvE.
I
It's
think
my
Um,
sidearm.
I think honestly, I think hatchets are really good if you are like doing a lot of like solo leveling. Like right now, I'm kind of by myself.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm everyone else is like 60 and I'm like 50, close to 52.
I was-
And
so
most
you
of the
like
time,
bacon.
you need to be able to kill things very quickly. Because one of the I'm not gonna get too into it, but one of the problems that I've had with this game is that you kill something. Oh, actually, there's an interesting bug about this too. But you kill something, and then like 30 to 40 seconds later it respawns. And
Yeah,
you'll have cleaved your way through an entire group of enemies, and now you need to like interact with an object, and it takes 30 seconds to interact with. Well, too bad. That whole group of things that you just killed, they're back and they're coming to kick your ass.
yeah.
like and
And
that it's just really
the
annoying.
the other good thing about having a hatchet on you is sustainability. That's why I run great axe in the hatchet, and if you perk those outright, you can essentially be your own healer without having to take out anything other than a melee weapon, and just hack at people. And the more damage you do, the more health you get. So the more you focus on damage, and as long as your perks are right, the more health you will get. It's sustainability. Being a DPS isn't all about focusing into damage perks. You need to worry about yourself as well, because you're not always going to have a healer around. And even if you do have a healer around, you might have one or two healers around that are good healers normally. Or like in our case last night, we had three awesome healers. In fact, one of the best healers we play with, Dr. Heathen, like whenever I'm around him, I'm like, God, I cannot die. But last night I was just dying over and over and over and over again. And so imagine if I didn't have that sustainability where I regain my own health, I wouldn't be able to even walk into the arena. So it's really good to have a good perk hatchet around, just if you're worried about health or anything, because you run out of all your specials on your main weapon, switch to that hatchet, go berserk, and just start slashing at people, because it gives you'll get what's it when you gain damage resistance. uh Not empowered, is it empowered? Anyway, you'll gain damage resistance from hitting people, and you'll also gain life back from hitting people. So not only is it hard, you are harder to kill while hitting people with the hatchet, but you gain life back, which is again sustainability.
um but yeah, so we'll get into some of the more hatchet chat
Yeah,
later on once we get
hat
to the
chat.
actual just recently we just had a patch get pushed out, so we'll get to that. But I just kind of want to try and go through the past like 2 weeks kind of in like an order of events kind of
Okay.
style. So first thing I want to talk about is the gold duping exploit that was plaguing the game. Obviously, people, and I think there still is some kind of dupe exploits out there, but anyway, this one was specifically for gold, and of course, um, people were going in. I'm not gonna get into how you actually do it or anything like that, but essentially, people
No.
were using it, in conjunction with another. I don't know if it's an exploit necessarily, but basically, Amazon Game Studios left a feature on that is actually on Steam, right? So it's a built-in feature on the Steam launcher, and that is the family share feature. And what people were doing, and gold dupers, probably more specifically, were if you owned the game on your main account, you could basically create as many family share accounts as you want. And basically you could have, and people were doing this, they were getting their friends into the game pretty much for free by using the family share feature. Now, as
Mhm.
we found out later on, Amazon had not originally meant for this feature to be enabled, but much like with the pretty much the entire history of Amazon, it's just pretty much unintended consequences all over the place, because
Mm.
presumably they just didn't think through a whole lot of these things. So, but essentially, so they were using the family share feature to create unlimited, basically just you know accounts that were made specifically for the purpose of duping, and then transferring that gold either to their main, or basically laundering it through the economy, however you want to put it. And now personally, I have not actually I don't really do a whole lot of trading, so it
Same.
doesn't really affect me. But I don't know, Deacon, did you notice anything while this gold dupe was going on? Like, was your
Um,
pricing being affected in any way?
I don't know really how to read into that because um I don't know if the pricing was affected. You know what? Maybe it was because people could buy so much little stuff, make it, and then put it back on the market for more money. So they're laundering the money basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and prices did drop. Prices are up right now on I'm like looking at stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and prices are definitely up. Like Greenwood's way up, you know. Um, a lot of stuff's up. Greenwood's up. Greenwood's up to like 15 cents a piece right now. So,
So,
or
but
11 cents each. 11 cents.
okay. So yeah, I mean, the gold dupe exploits were around for a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
have since been patched. Now I do believe there's like another dupe thing going on right now, but basically this was maybe like I'd say this was, yeah. I mean, you can see right here it says 16, so pretty much 2 weeks on the dot. Day to date. This dupe was happening. They have since patched that, but obviously with every patch, there's some new problem that pops up. So we're gonna continue along here. Unless Bacon, did you have any final thoughts on this thing?
Um, well, the gold duping, I don't like you were asked Deacon about the market. I don't exactly sell things in the market, but I do buy all of my gear from the market because I don't focus on profession, so I don't make my own gear.
Yeah.
I just buy good drops or good things that other people have made off the market. And starting, I have noticed a change in the market, but I can't tell if it's from the gold duping or if it's just from the natural change of the economy because people are actually hitting those higher levels. Therefore, the market's being flooded with more people doing higher level stuff, selling that stuff on the market, and also making higher level stuff and selling it on the market. So prices have dropped, but not significantly. Like I was probably paying anywhere between 1 to 500 for a decent piece of gear at my whatever level I was going. It scaled up all the way, and now I could get a nice roll for I mean like 100 max. Like mostly I'm paying around 45, 50 gold for a decent piece of gear, whether it be a weapon or armor. But again, I can't tell if that's contributed to the gold duping or if it's just the natural flow of the economy.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know if you wanted to get into this yet, but we were talking about this before the podcast. But are there are Amazon's patches worse than the bugs or the problems they were trying to solve?
Hold that thought until we get
Okay.
through the rest of the
Okay.
things. That is
Okay.
a very that we can expound on that quite a bit, and I want to try and bulldoze our way
Okay.
through these
Yeah.
topics.
Okay.
All right, so next up, so this is talking about a fix. So this was only in the game, I think, for a very brief period because pretty much as soon as it was found, Amazon, I want to say, did a patch or a hot fix the same day. Or actually, I don't even think it was a hot fix. I think it was just something that they tweaked on their end to disable this. But essentially, this one was just more funny than anything was. I mean, it also was serious in that people could use this to crash people's games, but it was kind of funny. So essentially, you could enter in I think it was what, like HTML, or basically it was an image that had an HTML link, and that link would crash your game. That's like the super
Mm-hmm.
very basic kind of explanation for it. Um, so people were flooding chat with with sausages. Oh my god. It was more, to me it was more funny. I mean, it obviously was I think it could have been potentially a serious issue because you could have nefarious actors that would potentially abuse it to inject code
Win
and,
wars.
do bad things. But I think because Amazon, well, first of all, as soon as people became aware of it, it went viral. I mean, obviously, I'm on PC Gamer right now, and they had an article up about it, so you can imagine if PC Gamer knows about it, then Reddit knows about it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it. Or actually, sorry, PC Gamer probably got all their information from Reddit. Let's be real, because it seems like all these games journal sites get their info from Reddit and whatever. But yeah, so that one was pretty quick. I mean, I don't really have much to comment on this. I don't know if you guys have any comments that you want to make on this. To me, it was just kind of like a funny thing that got patched within 24 hours. So
I didn't even know about it until right now.
I've only seen one picture of some bald dude. That was it. because I don't really go into global chat.
Yeah, I usually have global chat off, so
Yeah. I mean,
because I mean,
I've only had it on recently only because of the, now the ads for coin are gone.
oh yeah, I've seen a pretty substantial dip in those messages. Actually, I've been seeing them a lot more in like recruitment and or well, just recruitment. I don't really have global chat on, so. All right. Well, okay. So that was just a funny thing that
Okay.
happened. Again, we're kind of
Yeah.
we're just bulldozing our way through a couple of
Yeah.
topics that popped up in the last couple weeks. Let's go ahead and move right along into oh yeah, so this one was actually pretty interesting. And I think of all the things that happened in the last 2 weeks, this was probably one of the kind of bigger things because this was not something that only affected the the actual like bad actors. This actually this change that Amazon implemented, or well, they disabled this feature, impacted literally everybody in the game, and in a lot of very negative ways. And I think one of the on the low end or on like the individual level, obviously people couldn't. I think you could buy stuff, but then the people didn't get their money. Like there was that day that I helped you out, Deacon. I went in on
Uh-huh.
your account and
Uh-huh.
canceled all of your transactions or all your sell actions orders
Mhm.
on the marketplace because people could actually go in, buy stuff, but then you wouldn't get paid, right? I think that's
Mm-mm.
what it was.
Mhm.
So on an individual level, obviously that is a huge problem because if you have people that are selling things but they're not getting paid, they're gonna get pissed and say, you know what, screw this game. I'm gonna go play something else that isn't wasting my time. On a
Mhm.
more macro level, when we're talking more like on a company level, on a regional level, uh, regions were or cities were losing their upgrades because they couldn't pay to either upgrade them or to like repair them. I'm not too familiar with all the mechanics involved with like city maintenance, but
Mhm.
essentially, these companies that put all this time in to take control of these regions were suddenly getting hit uh with downgrades to like the different workstations in the cities because they couldn't pay any of the upkeep or whatever it is that you need, I guess. Um and so you had a lot of griping on that end as well. It's like, hey man, like I put in all this time, I did all this organization, I got all these people together, we contested this region, we went through a war, we beat the enemy, and we took control. And now you're telling me that I'm just screw myself, I guess. Like that, I
Yeah.
can't imagine if you were somebody in that position, and having to just kind of be like, Amazon's just like, sorry, deal with it.
Mhm. Mm.
Like
Right.
I'd be like, all right, I'm taking a break. Like
Yeah.
screw this, man. Um, but that was one of the bigger things that I think happened in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that. I just kind of wanted to give a very kind of very brief overview of how this feature being disabled really sent ripples throughout the community.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely going to go into this a lot more when we start to wrap up. But it's again, it just seems like they're not paying attention. They're not. They're more worried about. They're focusing more on fixing a symptom, and they're fighting symptoms rather than the root cause of the problem. And all that leads to is more and more and more and more problems, more and more symptoms of the root problem. They're just moving the problem around essentially, and they're gonna have to refocus their outlook to on where they're fixing bugs in order to maintain player base. Because if they keep doing this and they keep snowballing, it's not going to be a good thing. People are going to stop playing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to happen.
I kind of think they're just overwhelmed. I'm looking from a developer standpoint, and they're overwhelmed. They got a million people slamming them with things they want changed in the game. And I mean,
Yeah.
quite honestly, knowing a developer in real life, knowing a CEO, and his take on it because I asked him about it. Basically, it's whatever they want and how they want their game to be, you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Um, they're not going to do it because you want it done. They're going to do it because they want it done and when they want it done. And they're going to prioritize what they think is the most important part of making the game work and what could be sidelined for a week or two down the road. Um, with the trading, I mean, with the trading alone, uh, they did jump on it pretty. I mean, they did take it down and they took down the market in order to figure out what the hell is going on, and it hurt a lot of people. Supposedly hurt a lot of people. Oh my God, my taxes are due. Well, your taxes can wait. Your taxes it takes you 7 minutes to walk from one town to another. Um, yeah, it's like who owns the art, the artist or those who engage it? Yeah, exactly. So you know, and right, an artist isn't going to change the art to appease people. I mean, he's going to just. So that's what the game developers are doing. They're picking and choosing what they think is most important. Um, I mean, you can see in the forums, in the New World forums, there's like 5,000 different issues, and they're
If
they're trying to scale them down to just one or two or three issues that they can, craft and know that it's an issue.
right, if
Probably
we were in
mainly,
control,
yeah, mainly the exploits and stuff. Like, look, they probably, and this was a thing with Fallout. This is the same damn thing with Fallout. You can camera glitch right through the silo doors, as we all know, and they have yet to fix it, and they're not going to fix it
Oh yeah,
because
low
that's
priority.
it's. I don't think it's low priority, dude. I think it's an Easter egg. If anybody watches the movie Ready Player One, anybody watches the movie Ready Player One, it specifically defines it in there, where most classic games always had an Easter egg or a quick way to get through the game. Whether it was like in the beginning of the movie, the kid drove backwards to get a secret tunnel to get to the end of the game faster than everybody else. It's not cheating. It was built in the game, you know? Um Bethesda could patch that door very easily. Similar to where they patched the glitch where you put a mine on the top shelf, you jump on it, you explode it, and you jump above the map. And they fixed that within 2 days.
yeah,
And that was in
the
the silo. Like you could literally run on top of the map of the silo, um, and not
right.
have to do anything.
I mean, just think about how long that glitch has been around for. If it was actually a problem
I
and they
mean,
wanted to
yeah.
fix it, they would have done it by now.
Yep. 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 So that's my take on it.
Okay.
That's my
Shall we continue?
yeah.
Yeah,
Our
Sorry
next
about that. I was
no, no, no,
ranting.
please. That's You're quite all right.
one of the podcasts.
Yeah. All right. So I figure we can there's just one other like kind of interesting tidbit that I thought bared mentioning was that Amazon is actually taking action against people who are like exploiting and um basically like manipulating the game in ways that it shouldn't be manipulated. And just the one example that I wanted to bring up was actually because of the fact that it was a member of an actual esports organization, TSM, who are familiar. So TSM is one of the bigger names in esports in general. So it's up there with like FaZe Clan and 100 Thieves, like that sort of those sort of people. Liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy he was actually banned midstream
Wow.
for doing this game manipulation. And so what the interesting part of, well, maybe not interesting part, but this guy was going in and he was actually he was doing all of the stuff, right? So not only was he manipulating the boss, but he was also doing the animation canceling for the fire step. I think he was using there's a glitch I think that allows you to equip two like staffs at one time or something like that, and because of that you can just like spam it, cancel it, switch it, and then spam the attack again, and it's just kind of all kind of crazy stuff. So this guy was doing all the bad stuff. So but this guy actually went on Twitter before he got banned. He was like, "Oh, stop complaining, stop complaining." Oops.
Mm.
That and eventually though, he obviously he was caught in 4K here.
Oh Lord.
And
Wow.
he ended up actually, I believe, so this is kind of a non-apology, but the fact that he put this up at all says to me that, like, one, he got banned, and then the organization had to be like, you will make an apology, Mr. Solid FPS, because you are using our team branding, and we can't have people that are doing this kind of stuff. So, but the fact that we actually are seeing, oh, sorry about that. The fact
You're
that
in
we're actually
trouble now.
seeing Amazon take action against people like this makes me want to believe that they are responding to people's reports and things like that about this kind of stuff happening, and that they are trying to mitigate bad actors in the community. But yeah, that was just one thing I wanted to kind of bring up. I don't know, do you guys have any thoughts on that, or did you want to move right into the patch notes?
Yeah, move right into the Patrick.
All right, cool. All right. So, let me see here. Trying to find like a really good let me see if I can find a better breakdown of this from chatting here. Okay. Sorry, probably earlier. So I mean, we'll just kind of go over. I don't know what. So we just for context, we just had a new patch get pushed out that actually did make it quite a few number of interesting changes. As far as I think some of the bigger ones were to do with respecking and and there was something else that they also made a change to, and if you guys can think of it, I mean,
For the most recent patch that happened yesterday,
yeah, the most.
they definitely fixed the hatchet stacking.
Oh right, yes, that's right. So for my fellow hatchet men, out there, unfortunately, we're no longer deleting bosses in just a couple swings. So keep that in mind. But yeah, so they reduced the respec cost for attribute respecking. I think they also reduced the cost for respecking your weapons, right? Because it costs Azoth, right? I think to respec your weapons. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was 200 days off from level 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't respec yet. Can you check on that, Deacon? Are you in game?
Yeah, I can.
And I actually respec'd my attributes last night, I think twice. And through those two attribute swaps, I think I spent 300 gold.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Attributes
cheap.
for weapon mastery, if I wanted to respec, is now 50.
Wow. That's more than 100% discount.
Yeah.
It's 150% discount.
Yeah. So respecking a weapon is 50 now. Respecking your actual character is
No, I meant 50. It's a 75% discount, not 150% discount. We'd be getting paydays off.
But yeah, they even lowered respecking your character too,
yeah,
which was good.
Significantly, yeah, it definitely.
Which I think it makes sense though, because if you want people to, especially like when you do eventually hit 60, maybe like you want to change what kind of build you have. And that
Mm-hmm.
usually means reworking your weapons, reworking your attributes, especially. And if you make it prohibitively expensive to do so, people are gonna go. It's like, you know what? I want to try other things, but I can't because it's too expensive. So I'm not gonna play. Like I'd rather just like not play than
Mm-hmm.
go through the pain of paying to stuff because you don't know if like with hatchets, maybe some people switch to hatchet because they saw how good it was doing, and then all of a sudden that's gone, and they go, "Uh oh, I need to respec," and
Mm-hmm.
it's too
Yeah.
expensive. Um, the other thing. Oh, so this is something that I don't know. I don't believe this is implemented yet, but I believe this is going to be implemented in the future. And I thought actually is going to have long-term implications for the game, especially for the future. All trading posts are going to be linked. That
Oh
is
yeah.
a that is
Yeah,
a I want to
that
say that's like a foundational change how the game
that for me
works.
is a big pet peeve. I mean, for me personally, because I run the markets. I mean, that's gonna be a disaster for the markets,
I
in
mean, it's
my
going to be a
opinion.
race to the bottom, isn't it?
It's gonna be a race to the bottom because now why leave with everybody's like, oh well, then everybody will go to these other towns. Why? Why are they gonna go to these other towns when I could stay in Windsward and buy stuff in Brightwood and not have to go there? Like if there's something rare listed there that isn't listed anywhere else, why do I got to go there now? I don't have to go there. The heck do I have to leave the comfort of my home for? It's Amazon. I mean,
I think
I
they
mean,
could have
don't.
softened that instead of like making it be able to, let's say if you're in First Light and you want to buy something in Morningdale, you don't have to take that trek. I'd say that's a little too extreme. They should have just made like maybe as off travel a little cheaper, not too
Right.
cheaper because I think it's pretty balanced with weight. Like I went to go travel somewhere pretty close, and I think my Azoth cost was almost 200 Azoth. I was like, "What?" And so I dropped everything in my inventory except for the basics, and then
Mhm.
it went to like 40 Azoth or something like that, and
Right.
I saved a lot of money. But still, I had to drop like all the resources that I would be able to craft with. Let's say if I wanted to buff my stats off at a storage bin that I'm leaving and can't really have access to unless we own both territories that I'm traveling to and that I traveled from, which this week is pretty easy because we own everything, but that won't last long. Uh,
Mhm.
Hopefully, because our server's kind of getting a repeat of the opening of the game when uh, day one, or I think it was day two, we owned the entire map aside from two or three territories. Yeah, three territories. The Covenant owned two, Marauders owned one. And everyone was complaining the game's going to be ruined because Syndicate owns the whole map, blah, 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 complaining. Guess what?
Mhm.
People actually played the game instead of complaining, and they pushed us down to two territories. We only
Yeah.
owned two territories last week or a week and a half ago, and the Covenant owned the damn map. Well, guess what happened? We also played the
Mhm.
game instead of complaining, and now we own the map. Guess who's complaining again? The
Yep.
rest of the community that isn't Syndicate. So
Well,
guess what,
and
guys? Stop
I don't.
complaining and play the damn game.
So
Anyway,
you guys weren't online last night. Well, Bacon, you were not online last night at 2 in the morning. An entire team transferred server last night
Oh, really?
from
Be- from Covenant.
what faction? From Covenant?
Yep.
Well,
Because they
they're
were tired
just as.
of being overrun by Syndicate.
I
So
mean, at least it wasn't the
there was
Marauders.
30 to 40 people that were all saying goodbye in global chat, and then a couple people that I knew from the syndicate checked it out, and they sure enough they were out of the server already when they went to look for their name as a friend, and they were gone. And they
Because we
checked
just
like 10 people or so.
I just I just fought a
It's
war
like,
against the Covenant and they slaughtered us.
yeah,
Come on, guys, stop complaining. Just play the game.
yep.
And
And
now they're gonna transfer over to a server where it's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's pretty balanced. Yeah, it's balanced now, but in
no,
about a
they're
week.
transferring to a server where Covenant dominates.
Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I see how it is. They want to be
Yep.
the Syndicate, but they can't transfer to the Syndicate because we own the entire map. Oh, boo-hoo.
Right. Well,
Um,
they just want.
Yeah, they want to be the
They don't want to
majority,
fight
so they're
for it.
complaining. They're complaining about them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want to
And
fight
then,
for it
the
exactly.
big thing was Pandemonium owns the map. Well, Panda doesn't. They own 2 towns. I
Yeah,
mean, in the Marauders here, 1 company owns 2 towns. I mean, we tried taking First Light.
they
Now,
shouldn't
if
have left the server. They should have switched to the damn Marauders because the Marauders need help.
right. Well, so we, I'm gonna push First Light again because now we had a better system. Last night, we took Everfall, and they put up a good fight, but we had a way better system than we did when we did First Light. Plus, we didn't have all the bugs. I mean, we went into First Light with all hatchets. I mean, uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was mayhem.
You
that
know,
was
this
mayhem. Yeah.
I was just going to say this actually brings up an interesting topic that I think is going to be more relevant as time goes on, and as we, obviously the game has seen a bit of a dip in the player base. And I don't know if you guys have seen any of those articles proclaiming, oh, yeah, New World lost 500,000 players since whatever. It's like, well, I mean,
Heard it.
duh. Like, obviously everyone
Yeah,
is super
yeah.
hyped about a game, and you're never gonna see like those kinds of numbers again. I mean, maybe if there's like some super huge hyped update, but for the
I'm gonna let
most
you
part,
finish, but actually, I am gonna let
yeah.
you finish. By the way, New World has currently 21.8 thousand viewers on Twitch, but continue.
Mm. So, but yeah, so obviously people are leaving the game, or they're maybe they got their fill, and they got what they wanted out of the game, they're done, or whatever the case is, which is completely normal. People are getting so bent out of shape that games aren't it's like, oh man, it left the top 10 of Steam's most played this week or whatever else, and it's like, well, I mean, listen, it's first of all, it's an MMO, it's already kind of a niche title. um and the stats, the Steam, the numbers that you see on Steam, like for in terms of current player counts and everything, that's not everything. A lot of the people that you're seeing leaving are, they're going to be probably more casual, or people that are just seeing all of the bugs. That is one of the repercussions of all these like issues that you're seeing pop up on like Reddit and on news sites and things like that, is that people see these bugs and they go, you know what, I like the game, but I'm gonna wait for a patch or two and then come back
Hmm.
and play it when it's in a better state. And honestly, I understand that. I would never chide anybody who says, you know what, the game's in kind of a rough spot. I don't really feel like investing my time right now when I could go, there's so many games out there nowadays. It's like I could go play so many other things while this game gets kind of ironed out, because it'll be ironed out. It might take some time. I think not to step on Fallout 76, as much as it's already been stepped on, but the team for New World probably is like orders of magnitude larger than the 76 team. Um, but things all people are still playing. People, I think the other big thing about this too is that there is a very large PvP focus, and because of that, you are getting a decent amount of people that really invest in the game because they are invested. It's like, oh, we gotta jump in, we gotta protect our region here, we gotta fight, gotta fight and try and take over this region here and whatever else. And I think because of that enthusiasm, you will see that there will be a kind of core group that coalesces and stays with this game. So yeah, player numbers are going down. That's okay. You're gonna see more people kind of change into more of a new world focused kind of player, and things will stabilize. And I think things will continue to go down, but they will eventually stabilize. And I think for the most part right now we're okay. I think if we continue to get patches and the player count continues to go down, 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 then maybe there's some issue. But I think for the time being, New World is in as good a spot as it can be, given all of the issues that we have experienced to date. And as a reminder, the game has only been out, what, a month and a half,
Yeah.
If
or something like
Month
Yeah,
that.
and
I
a
would
half.
like to add on to that. If
God.
anybody can find me a game that has ever been released where the player base has started at the bottom and it has been in a straight upward curve the entire way, I will give you $100 bill. A straight curve all the way up, just like
Yeah,
everyone that has ever played it loved it, and to just continue to play it for the rest of their life, every single day of every single hour. It's impossible. You're not going to find it. It's
yeah,
always
yeah,
going to be. It's going to
yeah.
be.
It's gonna fluctuate.
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, the only games that I can think of like immediately off the top of my head that like started out with a low player count and then like got really high over time, maybe WoW. I mean, I'm sure there's other games that probably maybe have replicated a similar success. Well, I mean, okay, so just another one maybe I was thinking of League of Legends, or, all these games where like they just keep going up and up and up and up with player count. But again, this is a New World, especially is a niche title. It's a PvP focused MMO. So that's two strikes right there. Like, so it's going to cater to a very specific player base. But that player base, I think, given if the issues are mostly ironed out, if most of the issues are addressed, and there is a decent flow of content to the game, that's another biggie that we can also talk about a little bit. There's some leaks that we can kind of chat about very briefly, but as long as those things continue on a good path, on a consistent path, I think you will have a core player base that will coalesce around it, and the game will continue to garner success. Um, So as far as I know we're coming up on the hour mark here. So as far as the patch notes, was there anything else that we wanted to talk about that kind of stands out to you guys, or did
Was
you want?
that the last topic you had for New World?
I mean, I did bring up the leak stuff, but we don't have to get into the leaks. If you guys don't want to. We can always jump on to Bacon. I don't know if you have bits that maybe.
I do have some bits.
Okay, so
I got
let's
some bacon bits.
I know Deacon is station right now. So well, so let me talk, I guess, a little bit more about the patch notes here, just so in case there's anything else. I don't know if we've missed anything else. So apparently there was some issue where like gear score stuff wasn't working appropriately, but I guess that got fixed. I mean, there was just a lot of like fixes and increases and things like that. And this is good. This is good to me that we are seeing. One of the nice things that we have been seeing throughout this whole process is that Amazon is responding. I think they're responding as quickly as they can, given the tools that they have on hand. And I won't get into it too much, but the game was kind of gimped early on because of some of the decisions that the upper management made with regards to the actual game engine that the game runs on. So a lot of like the problems that we're seeing now are actually dated all the way back to the choices they made at the beginning of development for this game. So, things that they will be, I'm sure they're gonna fix everything that they can possibly fix. Some things, we'll see how it shakes out. But
Speaking of gear score, you know what I would kind of like to see implemented into the game, this would be purely psychological. Would be a gear score bar at the bottom of your screen. It doesn't have to be on your main HUD. It could be like anywhere. Kind of like Destiny with the light bar, because they have your light. Isn't your light score for your armor and weapons that determine your strength and
your light
stuff?
level, yeah.
Yeah,
So
your light level.
it depends on the activity. But yeah,
Yeah, so like in Destiny, you have your gear score is called light level, and it's the same thing. It's just a number. And when you equipped, let's say, if you find a gun with a higher light level than the one you're currently using, when you equip that, you'll have a little bar go dunk, go up, and that's your increase to like your actual full light level. Um, that would be pretty nice, just to know that
that you're on the path.
you're paying attention to your gear score, kind of just like a reminder. Oh, I've got this. I have, because paid some of you might be having this right now. Look at your tools. You might have like a pickaxe or something that has like 100 gear score, and you just go to a trading post and just buy any, just sort by can equipped, and sort from gear score highest to lowest, and just get the first one that, because they have buffs as well. Look at the buffs and just buy what you can afford, and has a lot higher gear score than you currently have. And you don't know, because you can bottleneck yourself with a super low. Say all of your gear score is almost 500, except for you have like I said, a pickaxe that was level 100 for some reason. You get a higher level pickaxe, your gear score will jump significantly, because they average all that out. So that low number is going to severely hinder your gear score.
Well, I mean, from what I've experienced for watermarking, the watermarking has to start with pickups at a chest. They don't start with what you have equipped going into 60.
Hmm.
The watermark starts when you get items from elite chest, not from what you can equip from the store. Like, because I mean, perfect example. All my average gear score right now is 569. I am not getting 569
Nice.
gear drops at all. I'm getting 505 right now and 506 last night.
What? Wait. So I mean, I have the article up here, or the patch notes here, talking a little bit about
Right.
watermarking, because I obviously I'm not 60 yet, so I haven't really even had to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if you want to expound on that a little bit, Deacon.
Okay, so example, I have gear score 599, primeval profane boots. So if watermarking were to work where what you have equipped would level up to the next gear, um, yeah, um, basically you have to your watermarking starts with elite chest. It doesn't start with what you have equipped at all. So you have to find the items in order to start your watermarking. So going into the store and buying 599
Okay.
gear doesn't set your watermark at 599.
Right.
Huh.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't let you get higher gear like you said, but it does increase your gear score overall, which I believe. Honestly, I don't even know what that matters, other than because
Right.
in
Well,
Destiny, that's what it was. The higher light level you have, the higher light level stuff you can pick up.
right. Yeah. There's a if you do the God, not primary. It was the you could tell I haven't actually played Destiny in a while since New World's come
Yeah, me
Mhm.
neither.
out. But yeah, so Destiny, both of those, I think this is where the disconnect is. Destiny, as you get, like, it doesn't matter. It matters what activity you do, because there are certain activities that you do in Destiny will actually say, okay, you do this, you are rolling. You know that you're rolling specifically for either higher level gear, or like that activity will reward you with whatever your current light level is, +2 or +5 or whatever it is. And then obviously
Mhm.
at that point you're just hoping that it gives you the item that you are lowest in, which
Okay. Yeah.
typically that's what it does, and that's how you get your light level up to max light level. And that's nice, at least in my opinion. I think that's nice. It's like, okay, I know that these activities this week on every weekly reset, it's like, all right, I can do all these activities, and I know that these are going to contribute to increasing my light level up to the whatever the max cap is. It seems like New World has like a parallel system where like your gear score can be higher, but then your actual like watermark, like where what potential for your armor and weapons to drop at can be higher or lower. It's really weird. Like I feel like I honestly feel like if you had the gold for it, you could just buy whatever whatever that you need,
Yeah. I
and then
mean,
kind of
that's
like
Which is
skip
what I
over.
do.
Yeah,
Which is what I
yeah.
but it
Right.
seems like they're disconnected. Whereas in Destiny, they're linked, and like you can't basically you can't help but only get things that help you, as long as you're doing the
Mhm.
activities that actually reward you
Right.
with the chance to get a
Right.
higher light level gear. And
And even if you don't get a higher light level, you get at least the same with a chance for a better roll for than what you already have.
Mhm. Yep.
so I don't know. I'm definitely gonna have to. I mean, listen, I still got some time before I hit 60. But I definitely probably will have to
Same.
read up on. I'm willing to bet by the time I hit 60, there will probably be some kind of changes. If
Yeah.
the pace of updates and changes and hot fixes continues from Amazon, they'll probably make some kind of change to the watermark system. So hopefully Amazon is listening, and hopefully it's to the benefit of the player base, because I don't think, like, yeah, I don't mind grind in games. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty heavily invested into Destiny and Fallout 76 and now New World. But there's like right now I'm kind of experiencing where I'm hitting a bit of a wall, and it's just like, oh,
Uh,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I was banging my head
you
on a
know,
wall last night.
that's it's like a good example. Like, you know, you're saying with the gear and whatnot. I mean, you could go in the market right now and buy level 600 legendary boots for $350.
That's nothing.
350 coins.
Mhm.
Right. Why do you care about watermarking at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, this gear is a level 600 profane boots of the century with 24 constitution. Gear score is 600.
I stopped worrying about watermarking at level 20. I just been just like, oh,
Oh,
I leveled
yeah.
up a couple times. Let's check out the market. And oh, look, I found a
Mhm.
helmet that gives me like 100 physical and elemental damage resistance and gives me a buff from my great axe. Hell yeah, let's buy that, throw that on, and I've done no work for
Mhm.
that other than do my other quest that gave me gold.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's what I mean, I don't know, I kind of feel like that's how it should be. It's like, oh, if you've spent all this time, but
Right, I'm not
basically it gives
complaining.
you, yeah, basically it gives you options. Like I feel like the more options you have available to you to hit these milestones or whatever else, the better. And if one of those
Mhm.
was, oh, if instead of grinding out expeditions and things like that for whatever legendaries that you might want, whatever the case, somebody puts something on the market that you really want and have the gold for it, why not kind of skip the line a little bit and be like, all right, well, here's
Mhm.
your new watermark or whatever it is. I don't know, but yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
I haven't hit that point yet, so it hasn't kind of hit me just
Mhm.
yet. So
Mhm.
well, we'll see how that shakes out.
Yep. So I'm hoping with we don't have a single tier 5 forge anywhere. So it's like uh
We're gonna have to get a
we
group of
can't
people
get we
together
can't I'm
and
ready to make void bent armor right now. I've got enough void bent ingots that I can create void bent armor. But we don't have a tier 5 forge, so we're kind of just I guess I'm kind of just waiting. And I'm hoping it's as good as it's supposed to be, you know?
um so being that we've is there any other like topics that you want to talk about as far as goes, as far as like patch notes or anything else that we've kind of discussed today?
what about
Um,
war stability?
War stability. Yeah. Hey, I think they've touched on that here. Hold on. Invasion difficulty. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, that and just the balance of wars. Seeing if they made any changes, because there've been reports of people just, I mean, they're not necessarily exploiting as they much as they put the right pieces of gear together and they're invincible and they can kill people in one swing. And
Is
mhm.
one dude is just like winning wars.
the great
Yeah.
axe bug? Is that what you're talking about?
I think
Or
it's great act. I think it was a great axe with syndicate or not syndicate with faction armor.
maybe, or were you talking about the gauntlet or the fire stat, like the AOE stuff that was
It
causing an
you
issue?
know it might be. I just know
Yeah.
what.
Well,
I guess let's just focus on
we can talk in
the faction
general.
gear.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. Because I think
Uh,
didn't the most recent patch address some of the issues that because I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about how resilient, instead of only
right.
affecting critical damage, it was affecting all damage. So it's like, oh, reduce critical damage by whatever the percentage was. And obviously, you want to try and reduce critical damage by a significant margin. Instead of doing just critical damage, it was doing all damage. So faction
Mhm.
gear, obviously, for a long time now, most people's like, yo, go faction gear because you could have that was also impacting the meta of wars, in which you would have, instead of people having like probably a decent mix of classes and whatever else, you could just have a death ball of healers and melee, and
Mhm.
that's all you needed. Because range couldn't do anything. Because range, it was like being tickled from range. Someone with a musket, it's
Right.
like, oh, my damage got reduced by like 70%. Well, and then
Right.
not only that, obviously the damage reduction, but the healing, obviously on top of that, basically you were unkillable. Like unless you had an even bigger group of people doing pretty much the same thing. And that
Mm.
was the problem. Is wars devolved into this death ball idea of just healers and melee, and that was it. But
Right.
now, with the most recent patch, they have addressed that, and muskets actually. I was actually This also reaches out beyond PvP, also into PvE, where before, like, yeah, I get hit by a musket, but it didn't like hurt me a whole lot. Well, now I actually have to kind of worry about people with muskets and get all up in them, and take them down as quickly as I can, because those muskets will dunk you pretty well.
Yeah.
Which I think
Oh yeah.
honestly they should. I mean, given the rate of fire and whatever else,
And the
you
fact
know.
they're in the game.
Well, yeah,
Like,
they should be
you should be able
useful.
to make them to do some damage. Yeah.
Yeah, most weapons should be usable in general.
Right. That's the hope of having so many different variations of weapons, is that you could choose whatever you want, whatever you feel like, and as long as you focus on that weapon and focus on the correct rolls on your gear and actually invest your time and intelligence into that character, you can take whatever weapon that you pick up and turn it into something devastating. And unfortunately, that's not the case with most games. There's always a meta with one weapon that is just ridiculously strong. There's always a handful of weapons. Like, why did they even program them in the game? Fallout. Like mini nukes. People only use mini nukes to just make blow ups, just little explosions. Oh, that looked pretty.
Sorry, I'm just trying to
But
find the while we're talking here, but we can always save that for time. I think we've.
yeah, because those are going to come if they actually come into fruition. It won't be for a while, so we can save that if we want. We're
Yeah,
already
yeah.
about at an hour, and we have to do bacon bits.
Oh yeah, yeah. So unless we have any other things that
Oh,
anybody else wants to talk about, I figure this is probably a good time to move on to
yeah.
there have been other things happening besides New World stuff. So
Hmm.
Bacon, if you'd like to go ahead and do
Yeah.
your whole bit on
All
Bacon
right,
Bits.
my whole bit on bits. Yeah. So this weekend's bacon bits. Starting out, we have, if you didn't know, I didn't know because I've been playing too much New World. It's double XP weekend right now on Fallout 76. So if your scoreboard isn't complete, go ahead, hop in there, get your intelligence buffing foods, grab your guns, and head to West Tech. Uh, Next on the list, we have Call of Duty Vanguard and Forza Horizon 5. Brand new, fresh off the press, newly released games are already on sale. You can get up to $5 off on both of those titles. Skyrim Anniversary Edition, the price has been released. It's going to cost you $50 unless you already own the special edition, in which that case it will only cost you $20. Now, this is an interesting one I've already told Deacon and Red about. It's just hilarious. Nintendo reiterating its plan to launch a new console before the year 2100. And this is a quote from GameSpot in an article they did about it. Nintendo shared a slide related to its quote future outlook, and this included mention of a quote integrated hardware software next gaming system. That's verbatim.
Mm.
That will arrive by the end of 2099. Thanks, Nintendo. So my great grandchildren can now look forward to something. Um, Elden Ring Collector's Edition pre-orders are live. I'm going to put that link for that in the chat if anybody would like to see. I believe this is a video of gameplay. Yep, it's a gameplay video for it. So if anybody wants to watch some gameplay and if it looks good, pre-order that. And finally, on Bacon Bits, we have the Fallout verified Twitter account highlights the very talented Fenwa and a very good friend of ours. He's actually helped us with intros before for him playing oldies on his stream. So they're giving him highlights for his talent in playing some old music and his love for old music. And actually, I would like to give him a shout out. So if you are not subscribed or following Fenwa, go ahead and check him out. I don't know if that worked.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? I don't
I don't
know if
think
there's
we.
the shout out thing on here.
Yeah.
Okay, just copy
Yeah, hold
that
on. Let me
in
see what I can
chat.
find as Benoit.
But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for Bacon Bits.
We'll put it in the description.
Pretty short list for this week. Yeah,
Anyway,
we got you,
yeah.
Fenwa.
Cool. All right. Well, if that is it for Bacon Bits, is there any kind of final comments you guys want to make about anything, or shall we wrap things up?
Yeah, let's wrap things up. I hate to rush off, but we got to feed people. So I do have to run. I was given an ultimatum, so I got to
Okay.
All
get
right.
going. But yeah, dude. I mean, New World is less buggy now, and I think people are starting to enjoy it. People are still not liking. I think they're just on a last note on Outpost Rush. People don't like the fact that the losing team gets less money, and the decrease in participation has been, I would say, threefold at least. Like we wait in queues for an hour now.
Yeah, actually, yeah, just very, very super briefly, I want to bring up the fact that this is something that we should probably talk about in a future episode. But one of the things that I completely forgot about was that as the population goes down for New World, we are potentially looking at server merges in the
Correct.
future because you can't have servers with like 200 to 500 people.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And because all of the systems are dependent upon people actually being in, in the game, participating and doing
That's economically
battles and
irresponsible. On
well,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just there's going to be repercussions from having people
Mhm.
having so many people spread out across so many basically dead servers. So definitely, I think that's a topic that we should definitely
yeah,
bring up.
yep.
Yes, definitely.
All right, folks. Well,
Okay.
go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I really do appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out with us. Obviously, this was our bonus quest episode. We do have our our main series with interviewees and things like that. So hopefully we'll be getting back on that track in the future. But just want to say thanks for coming out today. Really do appreciate it. We very much relish the opportunity that's provided here to kind of talk about some of our kind of favorite things that have been happening in the gaming world, movies, TV shows, that sort of thing. So obviously, I think we've all been pretty heavily invested in New World, and
Sure.
we're very much excited and kind of more knowledgeable about that right now. So that's kind of what's been on our minds. We
Right.
hope that you've enjoyed this opportunity to kind of enjoy this opportunity to talk about everything that has happened and will be happening. And this is definitely not the last time we're going to be talking about New World. So
No,
if you're watching this and you're like, oh my god, when are we going to move on from New World? Um, Probably not for a while. But so let me go ahead and just say, I'm Dr. Red MD. I do stream on Twitch. I'm not gonna drop my link in. Listen, if you want to follow me, you know where I'm at. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. Dr. _Red_MD. Check me out there. Deacon, go
I am
ahead
Deacon
and
Original. I also stream on Twitch. I've been doing a lot of New World, so definitely check me out. Twitch.tv, Deacon_Original, and SexBacon, my moderator. And you will might be during the week check SexBacon. Well, SexBacon. Your idea was to the
Oh,
East Coast.
so with East Coast Apes, I kind of wanted to get back into streaming again, but we're already doing the East Coast Apes project, so I kind of wanted to focus my energy into one project at a time. And so I'm going to start streaming on East Coast Apes project from every now and then, just to basically essentially get more people knowing that this is a live account. And then so when we go live on Saturday for the actual podcast, we're like, oh, East Coast Apes project, and just it's just a more outreach
Yeah.
and just keep the and we're not there's no intent to go affiliate or anything. It's purely just for just bringing people in. It's a magnet.
yeah.
And also expect this isn't just going to be me streaming on here. Deacon or Dr. Red might be bored
Yeah,
one day and
we'll
let's say
pop in.
they're yeah playing a game that they're not don't plan on playing on their own channel. Let's say
Yeah.
Red's bored one Sunday and he buys a new
I
$4
mean,
game
I
on Steam
bought
and wants to check it
Battlefield
out.
2042. I got to try it at some point.
Ooh, yeah.
2042,
You,
man. I'm
you
hyped. Can't wait.
might see
Yeah.
some of that on here.
All right,
But yeah.
guys.
But yeah, guys. So
All
just
So,
right,
make sure
guys.
that you hit that follow button if you're not already following. Chances are you probably are, but just make sure that you have it. Follow button. Keep an eye out for our if you are following us on YouTube, we'll post a video there. If you want the audio broadcast, that is going to be on pretty much, I want to say most major podcast providers. So Apple Music, SoundCloud, whatever your podcast
Spotify,
software
yeah, any
preference
of
of
those.
choice is. So keep an eye out for that there. And yeah, well, we will see you next time. So until then, guys, take care.
Have a good day.
Later, guys.